All right. So I have a couple of remarks here. This journey towards the future of heterogeneous catalysis. I want to thank Hong Liang for initiating this idea about a year ago. We started talking and getting the idea together, putting the proposal and the program together. It's been really excellent. Thank you, Neil, especially for being the local person, and Maria for traveling a quite long way on her way to somewhere even further. It's been really wonderful. And also thank you to all of our sponsors for that. So I have just a few final thoughts that I wanted to make. First, just to acknowledge this is just an amazing time to be doing science, whether it's computational or experiments. We have like hardware and software. This room of people that is involved is really crucial to what we're able to do today. We have like the best code and data sharing infrastructure, experimental data, code data that we could imagine. And even though we have talked about data sharing and how to improve it for many years now, it's just like unreal what we can do. There's really enormous attention by policymakers and the public, and I think we have to keep that in mind as we think about, what are they seeing, what are they doing, and really just incredible opportunities to make some world-changing advances in catalysis and how that will percolate through. And I think we also face massive challenges kind of at global scales. So the things I want to leave here with, I'm going to go back to how Bob McCabe kind of opened with, he motivated the need for heterogeneous catalysis and mitigating climate change, energy challenges, and kind of many other issues. And I think it's important for us to have a role in this field. Now, there's a broad range of activities required that range from, actually doing applied work in those areas to developing fundamental ideas. And there's room for all of us in it. But I think we all have to think about where are the gaps in this space and where do we fill them as a community? Now, it's tricky if you want to do fundamental science and recognize we need to fill gaps in applications, like where do you fit? And we don't all have to do it. That's not the message. The message is we have to all be thinking about where are there gaps? Are there places we should be doing things? And how does that fit with what I want to do? And how do we do that? So the reason I mention these gaps is the gaps often are with adjacent fields. I mentioned optimization. We've heard about biology. There are probably other fields in statistics that have grappled with a lot of the issues that we don't need to resolve. But we have to figure out how do we make time to meet these people, get on board with them, get them on board, et cetera. And then as we develop solutions, because we have solutions, I think the machine learned potential idea is a solution that is like unlike anything we've seen anywhere. So where else is this going to be valuable? What other fields could we make contributions to with the graph neural networks and the ideas that we learn about? I briefly mentioned the ideas of inverse problems, but solving a catalysis problem has application in other places that we need to think about reaching out to them so that we have impact over there as well. So that's one thought that I wanted to leave you with. I think education and outreach is a critical piece of this story. This field has moved faster than higher education can keep up. If you've had students, trying to go through qualifying exams and your colleagues are trying to ask questions and you can tell they simply haven't kept up. It's very hard for us to keep up. And so we have to really think hard about, how do we make sure there's a pool of people prepared to do this work? And it's not just new students, it's new colleagues, new collaborators. As we build these bridges to other fields, it includes administrators who are making decisions about programs in your institutions and policymakers that are making decisions about where funding is. To Sulio's point about not overselling, AI has a history of AI winters that have come from overselling, and then people got disillusioned by it. And then for years, you couldn't even say you were doing AI because you would get no money. And it took long enough for people to forget before we would repeat the cycle several times. So I think we have to be really careful, as Sulio said, not to overpromise and to really see how are we making contributions to these solutions, and how do we convince people that these contributions are necessary? Because otherwise we will have an AI winter and then we'll have to, call it something else like basis set expansions or something like that. And we'll keep doing the same thing, but we'll all have to use new words, and then we have a new education problem. So I think this is also important for us. We have, many of us, learned our way up in this field. It changes so fast. We will continue to do that. On the data-rich science side, I think everybody agrees. I think our models all need data, but if you're an ML person, you don't make data unless it's the simulation kind, and that's just an extremely fast and efficient way to build your models and advance your cause. If we need to collaborate, I'm going to call them data sources. It could be people that are developing specialized workflows to make very reliable, high throughput data sets. That's not actually easy work. It could be working with people that are at a synchrotron that do data rich science. And there you get extremely rich data. But if you don't know what to do with the data, that's not very helpful. And if you don't know what machine learning can do for you, you might think I have a lot of data and it's all the same thing, which isn't very helpful. So this is going to require lots of collaboration on people that do experiments, design new experiments. I think we will need new experiments. We cannot just put stuff in a reactor and measure the yield and then think machine learning is going to go. We have to design new reactors with new spectroscopies in, new kinds of data. And that's going to require a collaboration, because if you start thinking about multimodal models and how to get the data, what does the data need to be? How do we get it to be smooth? This is going to take a lot. Now, we heard a lot, I think, about the need for standards, and I think we need a persistent goal to drive towards standards, but we cannot stifle innovation. We cannot create an environment where you have to do something a certain way or else, because the new things are so new, we just don't know how they're going to be. So you need the freedom to do it and not be stifled by innovation. And I think we also heard somebody, or I had a conversation about if you discover something that's so new and it becomes so useful that everybody does it, it's going to get standardized, right? But the first time it won't be. The first time, no one probably even believed it was a good idea, and you need to do it anyway. So let me wrap up on this point and say what is next for our workshop. It's been an amazing 2 days. This has been one of the most fun workshops I've been at. It's been great to see lots of friends in the audience. It's nice to make new friends. And I think Hung and the committee and I are interested in, is there appetite for a future workshop? How often should it be? Are there other formats? Should it be every other year update on state of the art in the area? Should we have some different intersections with other fields and try to bring in, people that are working in data? There's lots of workshops. I've been in some with Milad on self-driving labs and lots of other AI things. So I think it's a little bit challenging to figure out where is the niche that we want to be? How do we keep it focused in catalysis? And how do we bring enough of these fields in to make it worthwhile? So with that, I'll thank everybody for sticking around to the end. And let's give Hong and Nuria and Neil and the other organizers a round of applause. And
Thank you, John. I definitely say again, thanks to all the speakers and both the presenter and the panelists and everyone attending in person and all the people online. Thank you very much.